Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are starting our day today at a little nature center that's out here. Taking a little hike and potentially getting rained on while we're out here, because that looks like it might pass over us. Doesn't look very heavy rain, but definitely rain. But we're out here to go see what's down in the little canyons over here. Poke around for a while until they close, and then we're going to cruise until dark and hit cuts in the mountains. Fingers crossed something cool shows up. And they quiet down. And he's running away from us a bit, but there's an ornate tree lizard in the canyon. Other than the common whiptails, that's the first reptile we've seen today. Very pretty. Wish the camera would focus on him better, but I love their patterns. Not what I was expecting crossing the trail today, but there is a very nice, very dark western diamondback rattlesnake right there. He knows I'm here. He's hoping that I don't see him. Of course I do. It's 4 in the afternoon, so it's kind of a surprise, but maybe not as much of a surprise since this is a cultivated, semi-cultivated area. Growing desert plants, keeping things a little cooler. What a pretty snake, though. Especially, look at that tail. That is an incredible band on that tail. Really dark black bands. Of course, would not have been a Texas trip without seeing at least one of these guys somewhere. A live one, I should say, since we did see a dead one yesterday. But I'll just leave him to it.
While he was paused like this actually gives a chance to note a couple important things. One, you notice he's not moving at all, even as I'm standing here walking around filming him, because he's still hoping that he's invisible, camouflaged into the dirt instead of being noticed by me. But two, because I'm not going in and approaching him, he's not feeling like he has to get up and be defensive in general. Instead, he's just staying there, hoping that I eventually move off, which I did. Again, rattlesnakes are not aggressive animals. The last thing they want to do is enter a conflict with people. So this is usually the first defense that they will have, is they will freeze and hope that whatever threat they perceive will just keep moving on. That includes when they're completely unnoticed out in the wild, and that's what they hope to stay as, or if they have been noticed, they hope that you will decide that it's not worth your time and keep moving so that they can do the same. Now, this being a general desert research institute and educational center, a lot of cool plants to look at in the area, both down in the canyon, and then, after we saw the rattlesnake, up in their cactus greenhouse.
And here at the Nature Center, they have a gigantic collection of cactus species. Some of them are in bloom, some of them are just looking cool as they are. And take a little bit of time around and enjoy them. Ooh, cool ones here. Looks like I have just missed the flowering period for a lot of them, though.
As many different species of plants I grow at home, unfortunately cacti are a group that I've only just recently begun to start actually getting the hang of, because unfortunately I tend to baby them too much. but it's incredible the amount of variation that comes in these species, and a lot of the ones that are in here that I actually caught my attention the most are actually native to the West Texas region and nearby northern Mexico. A lot of the Mammillaria species, Opuntia and stuff like that. I actually managed to find a few seeds for some of the varieties that I saw here later on after my trip that I've started to grow, but very cool plants. I've added a few names for you guys.
Bit of a cool view we have out here. The next mountain range over is getting blasted by another monsoon. We had one that just went through here, but you can see the dust blowing up on the edge there, and then the actual tops of the mountains are getting just dumped on. Would be good herping later tonight, but there's no access to those mountains, sadly. Oh, he's going. Here he goes. There's a Texas horny lizard under here. I can see him. I don't want to lose him. Well, he went and buried himself underneath the mesquite here. Yeah, or acacia, one of the two. So kind of hard to see him, but we got ourselves a horn lizard poking around. He moved a lot faster than I was expecting he would. Certainly faster than the last couple we saw. But gorgeous lizard nevertheless. You can watch him do a little bit of behavior here. He's out hunting ants. And there he goes. We got Turkey on the side of the road. Turkey who is not particularly interested in running away, and there was also a deer that just crossed right up here. Lots of wildlife. Alrighty folks, evening plans have shifted just a pinch. I was originally not going to leave the little picnic spot where I was at until it was actually starting to truly get dark, but then storm went through and brought quite a bit of cool air with it. So we're going to poke around out here before sunset to see if there's any maybe Baird's rats out. during the day. And then go up and over and then head down the other side of the mountains where it's hopefully still warmer. Overnight. Found the bat cave again. Can't see them this time because they're not down close enough, but well, they're roosting in there again. No question, because you can hear them. Longhorn beetle on the wall out here. Funky little guys. So we've met up with a friend out here, and well, they have just found what is a lifer for me. Finally, a wild Baird's rat snake. So this is just a baby, and I'll probably show a photo of my guys from at home when they look like this. Mine were a little paler at this age, but they change color rather dramatically as they grow up. They lose all of that dorsal blotching, and they develop sometimes stripes, sometimes just kind of plain unicolor at a glance, but then when you look close, they start developing oranges and pinks between the scales, and they can be extremely subtly beautiful animals. So this guy, again, he was probably born last year, whoops, and is going to grow eventually to be, well, could be 3.5 to 4 feet. They can occasionally get to 5. And live for 10, 20 years in some cases. They're out here eating small lizards, rodents, birds potentially, eggs. So hopefully we'll see some more, maybe even an adult at some point. But glad to finally have him show you guys something new.
Yep, so while this guy is beautiful, and I still count it as a lifer since it was found out in the wild, still holding out hope for one that I've found on my own, as well as an adult, because as shown by my pets here, Jacob and Leia, the adults can be quite beautiful and variable animals, and the ones in the Davis Mountains and other areas that I've searched for have this kind of look to them. So fingers crossed next year.
Oh, he looks like the one from last year too. Can we get a photo before he moves? Can we get a photo before he moves? Yes.
Beautiful. I love the pinks.
Looks a lot like the one we saw last year.
It does. It does.
All right.
Let's see if he just hangs out so we get good pictures.
We have got a gorgeous mottled rock rattlesnake over here. You can see some of those pinks on his belly there. Oh, just, it's not the same one as last year, obviously. This is a very different cut, and he's definitely got a little bit of a different look to him, but very similar appearance in a lot of ways. Oh, he is gorgeous too. I'm gonna try and get out the other light so we can get some more new photos, but spectacular animal. Oh, he's just hanging out on the side of the cut here. He's a good sized snake too, actually. Yeah. We're seeing, let's see, he's at least 2 feet long, it looks like.
Well, hold on,
gorgeous.
I think it's a she.
Oh, is it? Oop, she knows. Up.
Yep, just after that point she started to dip, so we had to hook her and bring her out to get better views for her and a few more photos. But first, the photos in situ where she's hanging out on the rocks. You can see those beautiful pink colors that she's showing off. Very similar to the one that we saw from last year. You can compare to those photos if you go to that video, but because they live in the same kind of environment, the kind of pinkish granite volcanic rocks of this area. Gorgeous snake, and glad to have found one this night.
Alright, so we're going to have to identify what species this is a little later. I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. But we got this really fat-clawed little scorpion that we just found under a rock here. Not sure what kind it is, but it's got some serious bristles on those pinchers too. Very dark guy. We'll make sure to give you guys a name for you to look up here. I just flipped a little thing of cover on the ground and there is something under it. We're about to find out what it is. What is this little guy? Oh, well, would you look at that? It is one of the species that I was wanting to see down here. That is a Smith's black-headed snake. We're gonna get the other camera out to look at this guy a little better. All right, things are getting bleached out a little bit here, but yep, we got this guy. Now, one of the things I was looking for. Now these are closely related to the plains blackheads, but they have a slightly different shape to the black on their crown. It's kind of a more abrupt stop to the black, as opposed to the kind of curved cap that the plains blackheads have. They also, it might just be me, but they look a little skinnier than the plains ones do as well. But these guys, like their relatives, are also often known as centipede snakes because that is one of their primary diets, is small centipedes out here. So really cool guys. They are a colubrid species and they are rear fang venomous to deal with those centipedes, but of course they are not only too small to really bite, they are also, the venom is just not useful for harming large mammals, so they're entirely harmless. Cute little guy though. Gonna get a few more photos on the other camera, and then we're going to put him back under his little board.
So these guys are really cool, partly because of how wide a range they have and also seemingly how hard it is sometimes to find them. They barely make it into my state on the western slope where they're considered extremely rare finds, and elsewhere mostly you're going to come across them after it's rained when they've come up out of the ground due to the moisture. They're found though from Colorado down into New Mexico, across into western Texas, parts of Arizona and California. And out here, well, they're only one of at least 3 different species of blackheads because the plains blackheads also occur in the area, as well as the much, much bigger and also protected as threatened Trans-Pecos blackheaded.
Got a blacktail. Gorgeous snake. Glad I stopped along this wall to poke around, because look at that guy curled up right there. That is a beautiful ornate blacktail. He's got a little bit of yellow in his pattern, but it's mostly kind of tan brown with the black blotches. It's kind of hard to get it to come out because I'm either bleaching him out with the direct light or he looks silvery when I look off to the side. But what a gorgeous snake, just padded up right along the wall here. These guys get quite a bit bigger than this guy. He's a relatively small one. He might be 2.5 feet long, stretched out. But that makes for, 1, 2, 4 species tonight. Beautiful snake. And sitting in a place where I don't have to bother him at all. So we get to leave him just where he is. Alright, and that wraps it up for tonight. The blacktail was the last snake that I saw, at least alive on the road. There might have been a couple of things that I passed by that were not, but we didn't stop for those. Nice to have another new lifer, actually 2 lifers if we count the Baird's rat that our friend found before he met up with me. Fingers crossed I might find an adult tomorrow, because we do have one more day down here. There are several things that I am still hoping to come across while up here. These mountains have been good for me though, so fingers crossed
at least a couple of those might show up. Because an adult Baird's rat would be nice. Big Ben black-headed snake would be really nice. Gray-bedding king snake, of course, would be the top of the list, but I'm not holding my breath on that. But whatever shows up, you'll see that probably in the next video. And until then, make sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Share it with somebody who you think might enjoy the animals that we found as well. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything coming up. And if you'd like to see more about the stuff that I work with, the plants and the animals, you can find my website at carltoncarnivores.com. The database and the blog are on there, as well as the shop where you can buy plants and merchandise and other things to help support trips like this. You can find more photos and video tidbits and such on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. at Carlton Carnivores. And if you'd like to help support in other financial ways, you can become a Patreon member, where you get early access to the videos, exclusive merchandise, and more. And you can also, if you don't want to become a member there, you can do one-time donations at Ko-fi or simply contact me for other methods. Links for most of these things will be in the video description below. But until next time, I'm Honkin' Carlton, and this is Carlton Carnivores.